Hey and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking a look at a precision strike spells deck with ALZUR, and this one I believe is going to be more towards the meta for 10.2. And I say that because there's been some really solid buffs to the archetype, which has proven itself to be very strong over the last several seasons, and we've seen different versions of this in tournaments as big as the Gwent Masters. So expect to see something like this really take off in the season, and we'll go through the card by card. We'll talk about the main strategy, but we'll start with Oneiromancy here. And this card is a spell that has an echo status, so we're able to play any card from our deck, and we can do it twice. Now, if we can tutor out ALZUR with Oneiromancy, then we get the immediate proc from ALZUR, so it automatically spawns a random unit with the same provision cost as the Oneiro that we played, and it triggers a whole chain of spells that we have lined up here that we'll get to. But moving on to Simlas Fin, this is going to play all copies of a bronze special card from our deck. So 9 times out of 10, we're going to be going for the Orbs of Insight, and this is going to be boosting an ally unit by 2 and giving it vitality. While in graveyard, remove the counter by 1. Whenever you play a special card, when the counter reaches 0, play this card and give it doomed with a counter of 3. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to play the Simlas Fin in round 1 or 2 whenever, and we're looking to get out the Orbs of Insight. And then we want to be able to make copies with them, potentially even with the Elven Seer, so we can duplicate that process and get a bunch of these in circulation. And then we want to either bleed into a round or start another round with pulling Oneiromancy into the ALZUR, which will ultimately then give us the big chain, like the machine gun of Orbs of Insights that are going to come back from the graveyard and be able to single turn proc the ALZUR. And if we can set up a board state where we have cards like Francesca and cards like the Elven Scribe and the Elven Seer on the board, things can get quite deadly. Now, I do have other plans in mind for Francesca that we'll get to, but you could see how much potential and how much point swing the ALZUR play has with these orbs. And of course, we have tons of backup spells for the play, like the VIGOs and the packs and stuff like that, and the Bronze End, the ALZUR's Thunder. So there isn't really going to be a time where this bricks unless we just really misplay our hand. You know, I would say you get it off in one turn, that's fine. If they Heatwave ALZUR, the damage has already been done, which is the big thing here. Getting into VIGO's Muzzle, this is a card that I said don't sleep on about a month ago. I had no idea it was going to get a buff. It got a buff in 2 places, which is why the provisions don't line up right now. By the time you guys play this deck, it'll be able to be played. This is the day before the patch. So the provisions are going down to 10, and the lock and seize ceiling is going up to 6, so we can easily manipulate that with our leader ability, and then we can go and seize a 6 power card from their side of the playing field. I don't know if we realize how strong this is until it's played, but I know that this is going to really change the dynamic for Scoia'tael and the game in general, because if they put down that hero card or that defender or whatever the case, we can go and take that. And then we have just free access to all their cards that we need to get to with the Heatwave and the ALZUR's Thunder and stuff like that. So it could be quite nasty, and I'm really looking forward to playing it. Talked about ALZUR. Karathi Heatwave I think is necessary, even though it's not a spell. In this deck, we want to be able to banish a unit or artifact, and I think that's very important. A lot of decks are going to be playing Scenario or just have super tall point slam finishes that we want to really be able to take care of. So Heatwave, really good cost for provisions. I don't see a point of going with the other alternative tall removal with Curse of Corruption, because I feel like this card could be detrimental to us more times than not, because we are going tall with a lot of our units here. So I would probably try and avoid that and just stick with the Heatwave in this case. We have Mushy Truffle. Mushy Truffle is going to really help with our chain of spells. This is going to help really trigger it, because the orbs require us playing a certain amount of spells before they come back from grave. Francesca has a counter of what's going to be going down to 2. The Salve has a counter of what's going to be going down to 2 for the patch. So a lot of things depend on us playing specials in order to work. And this is basically just it, right? Let's say we tutor ALZUR with Oniro, but the counter hasn't ticked down for the orbs. The ALZUR could be sitting there doing nothing. So the Mushy Truffle helps confirm that so that we can start getting the orbs back. So this is one of those cards that really found a place in this type of deck, and I think it's a necessity to have here. We have really good units to support it as well, because it does let us play a card with Bonded. So in the bronze end, I put the Mahaka Marauders, which get tons of vitality, tons of points. They're really good proactive plays, and the fact that we have 3 of them out there, and the second 2 of them will be getting vitality for 4 turns each, is quite wild. So definitely want to have something like that. We talked about Francesca a little bit, but she is actually a lot more playable than she was when she came out, because the counter of 2 makes it very easy to pull off. Counter of 3 was a little bit greedy, often saw removal prior to being able to fully proc her. And basically, when the counter reaches 0, spawn and play a copy of the last special card you played. If it's a neutral, give it doomed. So it could be many things. It could be the Oniromancy, it could be the Heat Wave, it could be the muzzle. Could you picture that? Double muzzle off Francesca. It could be an orb, it could be an ALZUR's Thunder, right? It's double spores. Like, you have to sort of time this one appropriately, but more than often it'll probably accidentally be an orb. But I think that, you know, it has a really good ceiling. Like, it's phenomenal ceiling on the card, really easy to execute. And this goes on to the next one here, Salve. So boost an ally unit by 5. When this card enters your graveyard, transform Salve into a Salve Unity. And then when the counter reaches 0 for playing specials, bring it back. Now the counter is going to be 2 tomorrow, like I said, and it has 3 power. So you can even use Salve as your 3rd card, or 2nd card rather, and make Francesca create like a double Unity, so you get extra carryover. That's also an exceptional option, right? So definitely something to have there. It just makes a lot of sense in this deck, and it's a spell that works with ALZUR. We have Gord that's going to be getting the max amount of value, so the boost cannot exceed 12, but he's going to be boosting by 12 every single time, because we're going to be playing a whole clip full of spell cards, and if we can't get him to 12 plus the 3 base power, we're doing it wrong. So it makes a big difference there. Now, Xavier Lemons, I think, is going to be very important into the deck, into the meta, especially this season, because we've seen a lot of the greedy carryover monster decks with like the Witch's Sabbath and all that nonsense. This will help solve that problem. We've seen, well, I'm anticipating that we're going to see some more of this. I'm sure other people are going to make their versions of the deck. This is going to help play us into a mirror a bit better. We can get rid of the unities or the orbs and stuff. Every single turn we're dealing with something, so it makes a big difference. We can get rid of the Crow Mother and tons of other cards that Skellige is going to want to bring back. We can get rid of the Flying Redanian and other cards that Syndicate wants to bring back. So you can see the trend here. If we're playing against Northern Realms, we can get rid of some of those mages that they might want to restore, whatever the case may be. And Lemons just, I really think, has a place here. The alternative would be like a Doragare or something like that, like a lock. But I think we're doing just fine with the Xavier. I'm pretty confident with that. We talked about the Orbs of Insight, and just tons of vitality, tons of circulation of spells, and backups for the ALZUR play, but just overall control, because I think when I think of Precision Strike, I think of control. And it just makes sense to have something like the ALZUR's Thunder here. Really good 5-point removal. I'm anticipating a lot of people going to be playing the Northern Realms Siege deck because of all the buffs and stuff like that. So you can imagine the fact that we can answer a couple with Thunder, we have a Heat Wave, we've got a Muzzle, like all these things are going to help make this matchup winnable, right? And I just think it really sees its place here. A lot of the deck serves around the Alvin Seer card. So when you target this card with a bronze special card, spawn and play a copy of that special card, counter 1. Now, we can make additional copies of the orbs, you can make additional copies of the packs. It really just comes down to what we get. Make sure you don't pact a unity, right? If we're making a unity here, don't pact it. But you could pack pretty much anything else, right? And that's pretty simple there. This is going to help obviously make our play work, but if it doesn't survive, because these sit on the board for 4 points, it's not the end of the world. We can often just play one and even just take a Mushy Truffle off of it so we get some kind of payoff. It usually just gets pretty good value. I think that multiple Tall Punishes are important. I didn't want to invest too many provisions in a second one, but Spores makes a lot of sense here. If they have a tall point slam finisher, we can go and clean up with a Spores. Now it's an organic tag, it doesn't play into the whole ALZUR play and whatnot, but it still is a special, so it's there for that reason, just for the hard reset. Talked about Pack just being good point slam and consistency for our spell cards. And Marauders, again, proactivity, point slam. And we have Elven Scribe. I think that this card's going to get really good value here because they can go and try to remove all these other things that we have in the deck, but some of them have to stick. And this card is going to be really good if it does and when it does. Now, it counters 3 when we play 3 specials that'll boost itself by 6. So you could see how quickly that's going to turn up and become quite a few points. And Broccolon Sentinels are great. We can thin our deck even more with our leader ability, and don't be afraid to thin early with this deck because we want to make sure that we're pulling into all these good cards in the gold end, so you could take us in round 1 if you like. What's nice is that when we're playing all these orbs, we have more targets to put the vitality on, because obviously if we put a bunch of vitality on one card, we're not going to be able to benefit from all that vitality, so splitting it up a little bit wider with the Broccolon Sentinels makes a lot of sense. So that's pretty much the deck here. We talked about how the provisions will work tomorrow. We talked about how this is going to probably be something geared more towards the meta, and it's just my prediction. My thoughts might change after playing a little while, but it's looking really sharp, and I'm excited to play it. If you guys like the video and you want to support the channel, the best way is to subscribe. I post videos every single day, and I also have 2 tiers of channel memberships set up right now temporarily as I'm working on a Patreon. When that comes up, I'll let you guys know, but for now, that's another way that you can support the channel. And for now, let's get into the games. And for the first game here, we got Nature's Gift. So pretty good draws round 1. We want kind of this sort of thing here. So we'll put back the orbs, and then we'll get rid of the hard brick on the Sentinel. That's pretty good. So I think we start with something like the Scribe, and then we can sort of put down the Seers, try and keep them alive, and see where it goes. That's definitely something we gotta answer there. So we can put down the second one next.
Spit it out already.
We'll deal with this first. If I can pull off the Simlast right now, we're doing pretty well. All right.
You are no lunatic of mine.
We'll go heavy orbs there and look for a pass. I think we could proc ALZUR off the back of other spells. Since we're playing against Nature's Gift, it's not all bad. We'll probably pass here with 3. So 9 times out of 10 it's Devotion Gift. Seeing Muzzle's really nice here. And Heatwave as well. Okay. ALZUR and Turo Nero. We need more. I'd like to have ALZUR play Nero.
Got a hearty hankering for Gwent.
Though trees live longer than humans, they need protection.
Take it with the muzzle, and this is what I'm talking about. Muzzle's actually really good. But I think I am trying to look for a pass here, ultimately. That's kind of a bad pull. At least they get the token to work with here. Yeah, I think we just take what we've got and keep it going. Our gourd play is going to be finished already. Like, look at that. Boost by 12. We didn't get to pull off the Salve or the ALZUR just yet, but that's fine. We have lots of stuff to deal with that. I don't think I need the Xavier here. This is nice. We kind of have to take those 2 mulligans, don't we? So we're not doing ALZUR, I guess. I think that they're going to go Simlas off of it, but we sort of need our cards here. I could do double Heatwave if I... 5 is not really that great. I guess they're going to rebuke that. There's not really a lot we can do in this case. We gotta get these online shortly. You gotta get this online. It's probably not going to proc though. So off the scribe, we're getting the 1, the 2. It's the best we can do here. I think we should still be fine. Gord's decent amount of points.
I must re-examine the manuscripts.
Yeah, we should be good. It just looks like they missed Ethne if they're using her. You see what I mean? We won without ALZUR, which is really cool. And next up here we got Fruits of Ysgith. Take away the obvious mulligans here. I don't know how I feel about playing orbs from hand, but we might have to. We missed a lot of good cards here. So the tough part is that we have bricked pairs for the Simlas, right? We've got one here. We kind of have to maybe save something and play around it that way, which is fine. We'll just use the round to maybe sort of just start playing out some cards, really, right? I would imagine that they're probably going to try and bleed too if they win this round, so it might even be worth it to put down Mushy Truffle and just get that going. Yeah, I'd probably just do it like that. Because we have the second one here, we could use a couple packs and stuff like that. We should go okay in that case. Gotta respect the Self-Eater though. We really do. Xavier would be good for that. I just don't think it's it's time to do it right now, because there's probably gonna be something else we want to remove as well from Grave. And we're probably gonna have to let that one stay. So I don't want to bring back the Marauder. If they're using like Sabbath, for example, I'd rather bring back something that we can actually recycle. So we'll go ahead and pact this, and I think that should be fine. It's kind of a big deal. I think they're going for setting up Sabbath for the Shiunos, but they're getting the pig online, 48 points. That's probably where we draw the line, right? Because they're making just enough space to have that last Shiunos come down. So it's a pass here from me. I think we could have gotten one more turn from them, but it just feels kind of expensive for me. At least we can go and try and take our mulligans here on 2 and just be fine. Muzzle's really good. It'll work for a pig. ALZUR's great. That's great. We kind of want to tutor that off O'Neill, but I'm not getting picky just yet. I'm so glad that I made Muzzle Premium, guys. Like, I had a feeling that this would be something special. There's a lot of things that we want to remove here, right? I want to remove 1, 2, and 3 so far. Pretty badly. I wonder if we just take a Xavier here. If I take a Xavier, I can at least take it for maybe the Griffin. I just don't know if they're using Witch's Sabbath or if they're using Mamuna, right? Or both. I guess we're gonna just go and take something out. And we'll probably just use Mushy because we're gonna lose it. So we'll tuck back ALZUR to make it work. Hopefully we get Heatwave. Hopefully we get Francesca. There we go, there's one. Put back that. We kind of have to play ALZUR from hand, don't we? Yeah. Alright. Okay. Sort of testing the waters here. How much control do they have? Are they just point slam or... I want to really try and greed out the ALZUR. I just don't know if it's a good idea. If they can't answer it, we could take that with muzzle. Trust me, yeah, I'm nervous. If they're running Heatwave, it's done, but otherwise we should just be pretty good. I don't think they're running Parasite. Okay, Truffle, that's fine. Okay, I think I'm gonna let it stick. I don't think I'm gonna worry just yet.
The realm of beauty severs your chain. Abandon now your mortal stain.
So they do have a lock. Good to know. Kind of like the idea of a double C's. Okay. Realistically, we should just rapid fire this right now. I think we're getting too greedy.
Why should I, an elf, a
Here.
sage, converse with an ape?
That's a pretty good pull. Yeah, that's just fine, right? Just want to take the Thin, deny Sabbath a little bit, and then we should just be okay. We'll take ALZUR's Thunder off the 4. What do we care about Veil? I guess so they can't lock this. That makes more sense. And then we can deny Sabbath with that. That gets a reset.
A witch's best friend is a pig, no doubt.
Oh, it's an allied unit, that's right. I forgot about that. It's been a while since I played him. Can't even access that right now, but that could just be a heat wave, right? Well, for now I could take a pact. I don't think we have to worry too much. Oh my god. I could tell it's 4:30 in the morning. I meant to hit pact, I hit the spores. So if I lose because we missed a hard reset, then that's my fault. It's fine. Thankfully, it's just we're playing before the patch drops.
Move those hooves, or both be ham.
So that'll be our take.
No, I see no other holes.
Probably still the best, just to put Gord down here, right? And if we're playing around like a Uridan or something, man, it is early. I forgot it was deploy. Yeah, it's fine. We should just be fine. A couple embarrassing plays in this one, but we're okay.
No, I don't nibble at them, they fall right out.
And next up we got Stockpile. This is going to be tricky, man. I've seen the patch notes and what Siege has in store, so we had to go into this one with that in mind. Quite strong. We actually have Salve in round 1, which is awesome. I don't know if I ever need Gord here, though. It's a bit better. You can contest it a little bit. I think the problem that the Siege deck's gonna have is winning that round 1. So it's probably Raffords that they're putting behind, but it could be pretty much anything. How would I like to deal with this? I wonder if that's ever the heat wave. Let's just wait and see what they play behind it. I want to set up double salve or double heat wave. It'd be kind of nice.
I'm an officer and a gentleman.
Ah, it's something like that, alright. Yeah, it's gonna be strong, man. Just pair the row and get ready here. I think I'm going to go double salve, to be honest. There we go. Now we'll just try and cycle out some bronzes and see where it takes us here. We can double froth it, or we can just... That's not too bad. This is scary, though. That's quick.
The elders must put a stop to this rebellion, else they will face devastation.
That's interesting. I wasn't expecting Vest to be in the list, but it makes sense.
Yes, that would fit perfectly.
It's crazy, because these are like solid mid-range cards now. Okay. I think we've got to respect this here.
War will be our downfall. This I have seen.
Temeria has yet to speak its last.
Join Amphibious Swing. Okay.
I hope we can trust them.
This is going to really help us out throughout the match for sure. So I think we do play Orb regardless. I just don't anticipate them passing at this right here. So now we got to pass, obviously, right? I just hope it was enough. We didn't really go a whole lot here. We did our thin, and then we took a heat wave, whereas they used much more cards that were gold, you know? Really just to keep that scenario in check. Make sure they get that round. So this is probably going to be a throw, I suppose. We need something stronger. Okay, muzzle's nice. At least we have Gord here. I don't really know if it matters what we end up taking. So short round with Siege can be quite deadly, but the fact that we go first means we could probably put down ALZUR, and they use their lock, and I can't really think of them having a 6-point damage on first turn. So if we could pull them, that would be really nice. Probably put that away. Probably put that away. Okay. See, that's what I'm talking about here. At least we could pull it off.
Not in Epoch's era's eons.
I pass on every 10th round.
We get 3 on the timer. This is probably going to be the best play to take. And surely they're going to remove ALZUR here. I'm positive. If not, that's going to be great. But okay, yeah. So we get the turn we're looking for. I think we value that more than getting the full vitality on the Marauder. Just plays for a bit more points. So it's not looking too bad. Would have been nice if these went to the... If I would have been able to consume them and then get them back.
Got a hearty hankering for Gwent.
So they went in with Amphibious for the Trollolol. Okay. I'm pretty confident that Gord's got it here, right? Yeah, should be good. There you go.
I respect no
And so next up we got Overwhelming Hunger. This should be a savior here for sure. Take that back, and then that back. There you have it. So we gotta play around Mana Core and the obvious things here just in case. But I'd really like to go for Francesca here. Holy. That's rough, man. Let's try it again.
You must banish her. I see no other paths.
I do not mince words.
We don't respect Purify. I don't have one in the list. There's a consideration to put one. But it would have to take up like the spore space, which is kind of bad.
My folk have suffered much.
So I see what they're doing, right? They're gonna trigger that and then do it again. And so I think I have to just help them out with it. That's fine. I think we played a 5 here. How do I feel about taking a thin just to make sure it happens? We don't actually want to lose the round on even. Something like that. It'll buy us some time to get out. It's kind of one of the ways that we draw our cards too, is just getting the thin out early, so we'll go into another round here. We have lots of good stuff left. It's kind of a nice play. Did we see enough? Can't say I'm overly concerned about what they have in their grave. I think we just Simlas orbs. Truffle will be nice carryover though. We'll start with Truffle.
Got a hearty hankering for Gwent.
Feign not ignorant. Remember to whom you speak.
That's a lot of points, man. So we can just leave it there, I think. Go into round 3, Oniro into it, kind of thing. We still have space, though. That's the thing. Okay, maybe we actually just go and play Marauders. Yeah, because... Okay. Needs to go up. We should have our turn here. Maroon is kind of nice. They take one of our carryover cards. It kind of sucks. So it's 2... I'm just trying to decide if I want to play any more. I'd like to maybe just put down this.
Yes, that would fit perfectly.
That was a good Maruna though. Okay. So that should be enough for us, and then we can just go basically Oniro into the ALZUR, proc all that, and then go from there. Take a muzzle. Get the heat wave out of the way too, which is nice. So you've got the 1, 2, the 3. I don't know if I want to have... We actually probably play ALZUR from hand. That's probably it, and then... I think that's the hand, though. I say like that because we don't have Gourd, right? And so Mana Core's out of the way, Heat Wave's out of the way, Maruna, Dorge. So we should just be okay. We want good cards off the ALZUR, so if I take Oniromancy, Gord's too small though, so it's probably not the best investment. Muzzle here is actually pretty good. We take away their consume. Yeah. Codwell's nice. Excluding self, so we gotta make sure we boost him up. And that should be actually pretty easy for us because we have the heat wave. So we'll just start banishing stuff, I think, here. This is probably the first. We gotta play around Igni a little bit, though. It's kind of scary if you think about it. Doesn't work like that. Should probably use it there. Just so there's no funny stuff going on. Don't mind just taking something like this. I guess we can't. It would have been fine either way.